Stanage, White House columnist for our partners at The Hill. Look, it feels like the White House thought this was going to be either the end or the beginning of the end of the Hunter Biden saga, and all of a sudden they got smacked, and now this is maybe the end of the beginning, and today marks a whole different place.
Well, I think the thing is the Hunter Biden saga has a number of different elements, right? And I think what they thought today is it was going to take one piece off the table. A certain pile of chips was going to be moved off the table. Suddenly, those stakes are still very much alive. There is not a resolution to that part of it. And there are all these other outstanding elements hanging out there as well.
All right. How surprised was the White House on this?
I think everyone was surprised in the White House and everywhere else. I mean, virtually universal opinion that this plea deal was going to be agreed to, and it wasn't. We've
heard Karine Jean-Pierre really change over the past few days in the talking points, because it went from what the White House said, and we'll play this now, in the past about how the president and when he was during his time as vice president, interacted with his son Hunter as it relates to business and the overseas business interests. Take a listen.
What I can say is, just taking a step back and looking at what the president is even doing today, he is going to focus on how we can continue to do the work of the American people. The answer is not going to change. The answer remains the same. The president was never in business with his son. I'm just not going to get into anything that's related to Hunter Biden. He's a private citizen.
I get them saying that I've never spoken to my son about his businesses and I'm not in business. Maybe the same thing to the White House. It's not the same thing, though. What is the distinction they're trying to draw here?
So the distinction, they're trying to say there's a distinction without a difference. And their argument is this former business associate of Hunter Biden's is saying that Hunter occasionally put the man who's now president, he wasn't president at the time, on the phone, but that only vague pleasantries were discussed. So there is a conversation, but does that conversation really amount to being in business or discussing business? The White House says no.
Discussing is discussing, but when you talk to sources at the White House, do they view this as a liability? How do they say they're going to go about branding Donald Trump as a criminal, as they have, and a danger to America by his reckless acts? And at the same time, there's a criminal investigation ongoing for corruption into the president's son.
Well, they say what you heard Karine say there, that Hunter Biden is a private citizen, but they also try to make a completely separate argument, which is, their argument is the American people care about other things, not this as much as economics, job creation, Bidenomics, and things of that nature. That's what the election.
So if they have, yeah, and you have to see how much it takes out of their quiver, the Donald Trump argument. All right, Niall, thank you very much.
Good to see you.